as a model church. He is South American, he's Colombian, and he is a great Nazarene. And he's a pastor, and he's a best friend of mine. We have invited him because he's the one that knows in detail how the Alpha works. I'm going to tell you that please, and everybody, we should be paying attention, take notes, those important things, everything that we have to know, and everything that we have to do, we're going to do it very practically. We want to work together with you. We want to know how to organize an alpha, how we're going to inscribe alphas, and we are going to hear some testimonies important. For instance, José Luis is going to open up for questions and answers. We have been teaching what is alpha, how we can be using it, how can we develop alphas, but to whom it is, and everything today. I hope José Luis is going to talk in property details, how everything it works, and how it's going to work in your local church. We have our planters, we're coordinators, our pastors, superintendents, all pastors that they are from everywhere. Welcome. Regional conference is recording this because you're going to find it in the web page. You're going to receive in the chat where we're going to be uploaded so you can visit it, and then you're going to direct you into our website and you can download materials. I don't want to lose any more time in this afternoon, so I'm going to give the opportunity to my best friend, Pastor José Luis, so he can this afternoon share what is Alpha. Welcome, Alpha. Welcome, Mr. Becerra. Welcome to Colombia. Welcome, good afternoon to everyone. It's a pleasure to greet you. I'm here from Colombia. I'm from 2 hours from Bogota, the main capital of Colombia, South America, the land of coffee. And well, we are here. I'm so happy. I know that you're in Zoom in the English translation and French. So that is why you have the buttons for the interpreters, and you can choose the language that you want to hear this conversation. We want to thank the interpreters because they are here, that you're trying to catch all the words that I try to say, and interpreting, that's a gift. And God gives us this gift and we thank them. I will try to speak slowly. So everybody in the languages, can you please understand? Recommendation, please, as the pastor mentioned in the chat, you may choose, and in the conversation, you are going to be allowed to write any question that you have in the chat of Zoom. And some people from the group from South America team, they are going to be selecting the questions, and for the time from questions, they are going to be showing it up. So that means if you have a question, please go to the chat immediately and write it quickly so you can share it. And then we're going to have a time to answer it, all of them. We're going to take advantage of this. We have going to have a small break also, and with a small activity of a digital random activity. And there will be a digital award for all this contest. It doesn't matter where you're from. You're going to receive this digital award. Okay. My name, as Mr. Milton says, I'm José Luis Becerra. I'm pastor, presbyter from Nazarene Church. And well, I came to the Nazarene Church when I was 10 years old. Today I have 46 years old. So that means 36 years ago, I'm in the Nazarene Church. I haven't changed any other denomination of church. I always have been in the same Nazarene Church, even though because of my path, I have been working with in several Latin American other ministers, but always I have walked through the Nazarene Church. It's a pleasure to be here and share this afternoon with you. And let us enter into the material. Let's ask God for wisdom, for his grace. Let us pray, please, together, so he can whisper the word specific that a specific time that we're living right now today in the world. If you have a notebook or a notebook, please, it will be great. And if you have your gadget also to write it down, it will be great. And we're going to be today advancing in this material. What I've been here to come to share with you is not about theory, it's more practical. It's a little bit of the history, and I hope that you know with the history you have shared, you can be challenged today by the Holy Spirit so you may continue in this evangelistical work. My history started 4 years and a half. I met Alpha for the first time. Let me tell you the story about it. Let me share with you a presentation also with images, but about everything that has been a planter in church, you're going to identify and try to say, yes, I'm a church planter. As you have taken the CPI, also you are going to, please write right now in the chat, I'm a certified instructor, I'm a planter. I'm going to share the first flag as the church planters and sons and adults that work in evangelism, district or local or national. But I'm going to share about the story about what is important Alpha and to know Alpha and to know about CPI. The two tools, SPI and Alpha, I met them at almost the same time, 4 years and a half, and I have hope, I hoped to be called to plant a church. 17 years before I planted church, I almost 20 years ago, I was 17 manager of the famous singer Alex Campos. I was with him working in tours and everything that was around him. And one day God called me, and in Oklahoma, in the middle of a concert, call, and the Holy Spirit came into me, and he said to me, and he said the following, Jose Luis, I didn't call you to be a manager. I'm also an accountant. So I'm one of the things that I passionate is accountant. And God said to me, you have been called to be a pastor and a planter. So I be starting to see many questions to God. I was already married, God. I already had two children. So we are starting to be calling about 17 years to be in a musical path with Mr. Alex Campor. So I didn't have in my radar that God was calling me. But at that moment, I was in a crisis. To not make it that long, because I'm not going to go deeply in this. At the end, I gave up to Mr. Alex Campor as a musician. We are still friends. So I went to plant a church. And this is what I wanted to share with you. This is how I met Alpha. So I'm going to share some images. I'm going to share over here on my screen everything that it has been my story. This is my logo, especially that talks about essentials, about planters. It doesn't matter if you're not a planter, probably God is calling you the same way that God called me. Probably you should be leave everything that you want and go into plant the church. In essential, this is Macedonia, and in this step in my life, when God commissioned someone to be the missioner, this is David Busick and Mr. Christian Sarmientos is put in their hands, and this is when they are ordering me, and this is almost 3 years and a half, and with my wife, I've been commissioned to be a planter. So this is I call Macedonian step. In 2016, this is with my wife and my children. We went to make a tour because at the beginning we thought that God was calling us to go and live to another country. And so we went to the United States to share with some Nazarene church in the United States. and South Carolina, and New York. And at the end, God called us and said, hey, this is not in the United States. You have to go back to Colombia. This is one of the paths. So this is how we met Chia. And this is the municipality where we plant our church. We made SPI, and then we make a tour in the zone. And then you have seen those are the churches from other denominations. And this is how we plant our church in the area, as you can see in the screen. And this is the area that we planted our church. And this is how we make this path. And this is a new step that we call Ephesus. And this is when God make a team, and the team that he gave us to plant a church. We were around 15 adults and around 10 children, small children. And this team is the team that we initially started with to plant churches. The first thing that we did in the Ephesus step is that we have training. It was someone came from Alpha Colombia to our house to give us that course about Alpha. We went with my wife, and over here, people from Alpha came, and they gave us the learning about Alpha, something a little bit what I'm doing right now, but a little bit extra of 4 hours. And the team that was with me, they for the first time what is Alpha, the way to make gospel, the way how it works with Alpha evangelism programs. So we were over here learning about these new opportunities in Alpha. So this is the line time, and this is the new different time, as you can see, from 1 week, 3 weeks, and a little bit forward, I'm going to be explaining you this. Then we come the step that is called essential, and we call them Jerusalem. In the Jerusalem step, this is when we open the church to all public, and we starting to sponsor, we had pastors, we invited the community. There's a new church, there's an Alpha church. And this was the church from Acts 29, and this was the first Nazarene church. So this Jerusalem step, we were celebrating the first year of opening the church. This is how it looked. And we were over there advancing. And this is, and a year and a half later, the superintendent came, Mr. Luis, probably know him, and he is the CIM of Colombia, and he has come over here after a year and a half, and then the church organized it. And then what it gave us, something that I loved, even the first year and a half, Alpha ended to give baptisms from adults, pre-adults, teenagers, and this was something nice that we can see new people going to the steps of God. And if we want to plant a church, we want to see a church grow, we have to not go to other churches. We have to plant with new people. You have to find new people, not in other churches. So this is the step of Jerusalem. And we passed to a new auditorium, bigger. We already have for a year and a half, and we don't have an own auditory. We have a place and of event that we rent, as you can see in the picture, and we rent it every Sunday. Very early in the morning, we arm everything, and the church, this is how we advance. We dream to find a new place, a land, or construct, but right now, this is the way that we gather. So from the step 1, this is the process of this. Yes, I'm not going to stay here in this one a lot. And this is in the process that we have. This is the process of growth, and everything started with Alpha. So this is the first harm that we do. If we want to start with someone that is not believer, and we try to bring them into a new path, and this is everybody knows them, and probably you have heard them, and to work into the path of grace. So we're growing in path of grace, and some of them they are Nazarene, other ones they are not Nazarenes. Some of them we also have been from the region, and some of them they have been from South America region. And this is where we decided to grow as a church. So we haven't changed it since then. 4 years, we still people have the same program. Then it comes, this is something nice, and this is the picture that I want to share. And this is the Antioquia step, in which the mother church is starting to open up some new small churches to expand to another communities and start to plant other churches as well. So this is the moment in which Acts 29, in which we already have 4 years and a half since we started. And today we have the mother church, and these are the church's daughter. And we call it Chia Centro, and the other we call it Father. And these places and the strategy that we have used of evangelism is to make alpha. In meeting of the pandemic time, we have the experience of alpha. So night we have to do it in an open space because we don't want to be contaminated with COVID. And this is a picture that always that I've seen it, I get too excited to see that the church does not stay in the same place, but the church starting to produce leaderships and starting to produce and to invite people to hear the calling. So this is what I want to share with you in this part. If there's any question, please let them know your question in the chats. And the only thing that I want to tell you is that it has been a process. The 4 years and a half, it has been a process, and everything that has been a process of planting, a process of creating, and of course, planting another 2 churches. And this is how we're advancing. We're going to the second block, and the second block, it's about what is alpha. Probably you have already have heard through the connection what is alpha, probably superficially way, and you have other probably have deeply heard about alpha, or probably you are some already planting other alphas. But if you have any other questions, let me explain to you briefly what is alpha. And I'm going to share another small presentation. This presentation, it's in Spanish and English, the text. So that means we're going to pass over here. What is alpha? For everyone that is saying it, if you already know what is alpha. It's a digital, regional, dynamic, innovative, highly multi-creative and free evangelistic tool. And everything is that is free. Alpha does not charge you anything, because if you use the material, the tools, the videos, the PDFs, everything of discussion, guides, evangelicals tool, everything. At the end, if you have a question, probably you're going to say, Alpha is not a disciplinate for the church. It's not to make disciples, it's another tool. Alpha, it's not about a tool of disciple. I am telling you this because I want to make sure that you understand that I already have spoken with pastors and friends that when you hear about Alpha, people believe that this is for school Sunday, or this is for invited someone to make disciples of adults. But no, it's not about that. Alpha, it's about a tool as an evangelistical tool in order for people that they are not assisting to a church or they are not assisting into a reunion. It's digital, it's relational. So that means I want to make it clear that evangelism has very facets, and this is a relational evangelism. This is an evangelism that is made from home. And we start an alpha at home. And we invite 7, 8 members, neighbors. We invite them to have a small coffee with probably bread. And we start chatting and we work with them with 12 weeks. But I'm telling you this So you will have something clear that alpha, it's not to make something different besides make it as an easy way to plant alpha. You don't have to be a church pastor. You don't have to be a theologist. You don't have to be a leader, or you don't have to know about theology to work with alpha. The only thing you know to work with alpha is how the passion the probably have for the one that lost, to call 10, 15 people at your home and to pass the videos, to prepare a good meal, and alpha start with food and then to advanced. So this is a few things, a few people, three people of the church, three Christian that they are mature, that they want to work with alpha and work with no problem. So this is a very easily tool to implement. Alpha is a minister that started in 1975 in London, and the mission is that is not for any church and does not belong to any denomination. Alpha is interdenominational, and the vision is evangelism of nations, revitalization of the church, and transformation of society. And the mission is to equip and serve the church, and it's the mission to help discover people and develop personal relationship with Jesus through Alpha. That's it. That's everything what Alpha does. So that I want you to, people want to make everything about Alpha. When everything have heard about Alpha, the end is going to be near. So that means the clock, God's clock is the one that he is sticking and he's calling us to make this work. Evangelism, it's something that probably churches preach a lot, but they practice a little. So I want you to know that you can add into this new work of evangelism. And I know the church is probably open to many programs, but the church must maintain and the eyes open with the ones that they have never heard about Jesus, with the people that they are not going to a church, the people that they are not still have accepted Jesus in their heart. So this is the mission and the mission of Alpha. So we shall continue. This is a information that I'm not going to be staying alone. That means that 24 million have experimented alpha in almost 100 countries, 100 languages. The alpha videos, they are in 100 languages: Mandarin, French, Portuguese, English, and Spanish, and many other, well, 100 languages, all the videos and posts. So that means last year, approximately, almost 30,000 organizations, they were using Alpha and using more than 1.3 million participants. For almost 30 years has been helping the local church bring people to another encounter with Jesus. Alpha is used by many Christian churches in 120 countries. So this is something you already know, you already seen, that you have seen is very effective for your minister, for your church, is relevant, and it's trustable, and it's something that is relational. Shall we continue? In Alpha, an Alpha, you can make it also virtual, online. And today there's a free website. You may do it in Zoom or face-to-face. And I know that COVID, we were behind our computers or our phones or our tablets. Today, the world is a little bit open about it. And a lot of places, they have worked everything in digital way, but there's also, you may make it face to face. I know that face to face is amazing. This is what our church works mostly. And in COVID, even though we use the online tools, but I know that it's totally different. I understand about that. Okay. In Alpha, there are three elements that people know that you already travel. What is Alpha? How do we start? Over here, there are three elements that explain. Alpha has hospitality. That means that when someone comes to our house and is trying to get to know Alpha, who were using food as a main tool to start a conversation. Jesus started always and told Zachary that I need to be in your home. And what happened? He entered, they have a big feast, and in the middle of the food, and Jesus says, told him to him, you have to give everything and you have to follow me. And this is the way that he went into his path. So this is Alpha. Alpha is about hospitality. The experience that I already have been working almost uh, 4 years and a half with Alpha is that the person at the end of Alpha, it has to say that I stay in the group just because of the kindness of the people that invited me, because every week they open up my door with so warm every week. They gave me food and everything. See that we were felt loved. That is what people what they want, and they were wishing that they can receive from Alpha. The second thing is about the conversation, and this is why they have some talks, some videos, and for teenagers series and adult series. So if you want to make an Alpha for teenagers, you have the same videos, but they are for teenagers and youth, and they are for adults. And the video and it's going to be stopping. It lasts almost 30 minutes. And for that 20, 30 minutes, you have been stopped if you can allow people to make questions and to start a dynamic and conversation. In Alpha, it shows us that we don't church, we don't preach, we don't pray at the beginning, we don't sing. So what we try to do is to make an environment that it doesn't feel threatened. Probably that someone that comes with a little bit of afraid or skepticism, that probably they know that this practice have been doing in other places and they want to convert me to another religion. So this is that probably the things that the people that visit, they have in their mind. So we're not going to put that pressure into them. You're going to put the videos of Alpha. They are really well prepared. So in through the sessions, the same videos are the ones that they are going to be to make people seduced into the effects. So that means this is how it works. One session on Alpha, it shouldn't be lasting more than an hour and 10. So please put it very big. A session Alpha does not must last more than 1 hour and 10. Why? Why? Because a people that has never gone to a church, that they are not Christian, he or she is not used to have going to a group or a disciple group or any mass. So that means they are not used to any of this religious thing. So if you take more than 2 hours or 2 hours and a half or 3 hours, probably the people is going to be after a few sessions. I like it, but you know what? It's too long. So that is why the idea is to make it specifically and to make people to stay and to probably make them the inquiring to stay for the next week so we can continue. And this is how we make 1 hour and 10. Basically, it's 20 minutes for food, conversations, and 40 minutes afterwards is the video. We make the pause, and this is how we make conversations. And 1 hour, an hour at 10 is a perfect time so we can pass an alpha group. Easy with young people, just an observation. With young people, it's important that if you can put an extra element at the end, probably 30 to 35 minutes more, and is to think about a game or something entertainment for teenagers. So that means Alpha has different games, so you can probably consult it later about these games. But when you make this group as an adolescent or the young people that has a little bit more time than adults, that's why the main idea is that he comes to play the video, and after the video and the conversation, we can put as some game or entertainment. I don't know, probably you can pay a card or anything that is something that it worked. So shall we continue? This is that we already have the alpha, the series that is for young and adults. This is for young. It's the same videos, but pre-adolescents, adolescents, or university adults and young adults. The only difference is that pre-adolescents and adolescents, it's by the age, and probably they like games. So I put the element of game and conversation in the group. Okay, an alpha series is for adults. Any other questions? Please, please write them in the chat. And we're going to be reading it. Okay. This is a video. I'm going to play it, and this is a video that I will probably use if I want to put in my church, if I want to start a campaign with using Alpha. I'm so sorry for the other ones that they are going to put it in Spanish.
Todos tenemos esa persona en nuestras vidas.
We have someone in our lives. That neighbor that we always see them every day when we enter our home. That co-worker that we always see them 5 days in a week. Or those friends in which we probably run into each other once in a while. People that we wish that they want to have the experience of God. How do we share that? Where shall we start? Very deeply, that open up and talk about our faith is very hard. It takes us through time, sacrifices, and probably we are afraid of rejection. But this is our call. Open up our lives and to share Jesus with the people that are next to each other. People that we see them in our lives, and conversations are very simple. Spaces in which we can be ourselves and exploring deeply with the people that we know and that we trust. And that is why that's we do Alpha. It's the uses of some weeks that we can share the main ideas of life with our friends and acquaintances. It's an opportunity so people can express and engage a conversation between how hard is it to find the right moment of the words, or just simply can just invite them to Alpha. Who are you going to invite? Okay. So that means I want just to say about the video. It's a video that we use. Who am I going to invite? So how shall we do Alpha? I'm going to start with that chapter. Alpha, I already explained what is Alpha and what is not Alpha. So I want to explain how you should do Alpha. It's very simple. What you have to do, there's a training videos that you may do when you open an Alpha. And the first one, we're going to do it here as well. That everyone that today is here, you can open up in your account into Alpha website. I want to guide you into the websites to open up an account so you can have an access to resources, tools, PDF, explaining trainings that is online. You may download it and see it with anyone that wants to see it, then share it in the church. The idea is that I want you to open up your account in Alpha so you have the access of all the materials. How do you do Alpha first? So I'm going to go into my timeline. It's to make a training Alpha. It's digital, you do it yourself. You don't need no one to help you out. This is auto self. This is an hour and 35 minutes of video. That means you have to dedicate probably 2 hours with your evangelistical department. And after 2 hours, you already have the time to start. Then you may make prayer campaigns. Please, you have to invite a list of people that you are going to invite 3 or 4. And the idea is that you need to add 10 to 15 people new that they do not believe in God, and you have to invite them. Then I invite them to the Alpha group. There will be a day that I'm going to give them food. It's like it will be a preliminary session of Alpha. And we're going to invite them that they start with us to explore our faith, praying. And for another 7 weeks, we're going to share the videos, the sessions. There's one day, there should be on the weekend of Alpha, that it comes into website training especially for this. And then for 4 weeks, we're going to continue with the alpha group. And the last one, it will be on the last session in which we connect the people with the church so people can assist to the church, to the local church, that they can must integrate the alpha group on the Sunday services so they can get together with the main church. So if you take a look at this, alpha is not about availabilities or just a few hours per week. So we can start inviting people to come to a house and, and listen the videos and conversation and to share the evangelism of God. This is the timeline of Alpha. It's very important that says that prayer shall go with all steps, because when we are making evangelism, we are making probably an attempt in the gate of hell. And I know that is one that he doesn't want us to make evangelism. There's one that he doesn't want people to be converted. There's one that he doesn't want people to start to open their hearts into the faith. So that is why we need that all the time. We should be having an intercession prayer with a team, that this team is going to be with us every week, and every week it will be winning, and we'll see how people are going to embrace God and the faith in Jesus. That is why we need this team prayer. This is the way that we do Alpha. 3 people, one of them, they have each role. You may start your Alpha. One will be the moderator, the second will be the host, and the third one will be the multimedia, the one that manages the video. So that means 3 people, you invite them, and if you have 10 people, new people, you may start with a new Alpha group, and you're going to see the results. And this is my experience, and also come from Alpha. Alpha is what it's inviting you to start now. Experimented Alpha now, and you may right now make your own conclusions. You may have your own experience. If it works, what can you improve, or what can you improve the next time? But the thing is, our calling today is that we need to make an Alpha group today. It's very simple, it's not complicated. You don't have to have a lot of knowledge or theological knowledge about the Bible. Simple, you have to know how to handle the session each time. So that means here is what we finish the first part, and we're going to go with questions and answers. So I'm going to stop sharing the screen, and in this section, I don't know which question, I don't know, Milton or someone from the team, please let us make these questions about like an interview. And they have planted over there. Probably you have seen a lot of questions, but probably you can share some of them. We're going to leave 15 questions, 15 minutes for questions to answer all the questions that they are focuses of everything that we have discussed right now. This Milton, go on. Thank you, Jose Luis. At this moment, Jose Luis has been very clear about the relationship, what is alpha and what is not alpha, and how we start. So our hermano Carlos Castro, hello, hi to say to you from Mexico. I have a question about you.
La pregunta directamente a José Luis para que él pueda escucharte, ¿sí?
Sí, claro que sí. Muchas gracias y saludos Milton, saludos José Luis y hermanos.
Hello, Mr. Milton, Mr. Jose Luis. My question is, today in the timeline, there's a last phase that says connection with the church. I have the question. In your experience, Mr. Jose Luis, how have you worked that transition? Or probably I think about that probably 1 or 2 people may not probably feel disappointed, or that they are changing from a session from food and then going to a church, traditional church. How do you do that in order to make this transition? That is very important for me. Look, this is what it happens. We're going to go our timelines, and this is the 2 weeks of previous starting alphas. In these 2 weeks, we call that session C, but this is not about alpha, but this is more than my experience. And this is from 0 session people that comes over here in these 2 sessions. Probably we put them 2, but it should be a 1 week. So we start the group alpha a Friday night. So we have the first calling. We have 20 persons in the list, and probably they only came 10 because probably there was an inconvenience to the other ones and they were not able to come. So at the end, we have another 10 that probably we give them another 2 weeks so we can start with another group and everybody is in the list. So what do we do in these sessions? In these sessions, we pass the trailer alpha the last 30 minutes. There's one for adults and one for teenagers, the same trailer, but different versions. So in this moment, we tell them, alpha last 12 weeks. And this is what we want you to invite you for 12 weeks to please be with us 1 hour per week, and you can explore our Christian faith. And that's it. That's a conversation. Of course, in that moment, we don't tell them, hey, welcome to the Nazarene Church, an alpha. No, we don't tell them about the church. And what you're telling me is true. People is walking through, and probably that day, it's a very important date that we call them into a conversation to the faith. And probably you understand my generation, 1995 and above, 75. So I converted into an evangelistical campaign. And today I'm an evangelistical pastor. And we are used that people passes in front and they make the prayer and they make that conversion. And this is something that we made that decision because we were conscious. But in here in Alpha, we walk them through a previous step that when the weekend starts in Alpha, it's people that 90% of the cases of people that they are going to stay at the church. So that means the people that goes into the 7th week, probably they're 90% that they are going to be staying there because we talk about Jesus, we talk about how the Bible works, if it, and those are the topics of the 7 first weeks. So that means that when people understand that there's a weekend alpha, we introduce for the first time, of course, the prayer, the music. We're starting to prepare them to the church protocol. So we practically, the last video, it's about calling what about the church? And this is the alpha video proposed that at the end of the video, well, alpha is the one that invited you, but alpha understand that it's not enough for you to be continue with your faith. So the alpha video explains to them that you need to go to a church, not into an auditorium, but into a reunion in which you need to be connected with someone else. So at the end of the video, with my experience is that that video always helps the pastor of the church, in this case me, right? It doesn't matter the group that it is, when it goes into that video, and that day I moderate the session, and at the end when everything ended and everybody have heard about the church, I let them to know and I question them and I listen to them. What do you think about a church? And then I presented the church, and then I presented my church. The name is Nazarene Church in Acts 29, and I presented the local church and I invite them to come. And this is how we do it. I don't know if Carlos knows, you have learned my replica.
Está bastante claro. Sí me preocupaba
I
esa
know
parte.
that is very clear. I was wondering about this step. I know everything familiar, and I don't want to sound that, okay, you're already baptized. But it's very target everything that you're saying, and it motivates me. and I have small experience. We have heard about Alpha, but to know that you as a pastor, that you use it and motivates me, and I hope that we can use it over here in my district in Mexico. Something that I want to, before Mr. Milton make the next question, is that for Nazarenes, probably is going to sound, I hope that I don't have someone, a Calvinist in this reunion, and there's a Calvinist. I'm so sorry about this, but I'm going to say this. The difference is between the evangelism, Calvinism, and evangelism is the difference of Armenian evangelism believes that in the growth in grace, therefore, evangelism or disciple starts since the start one or session of Alpha. And we believe that we're going to let them into a maximum level. A different, if we have a Calvinism evangelism tool that I want to share with you, and if the grace if is resistible, probably I already completed, right? And that is about God's. And you're not going to lose the salvation? Sure, go ahead. I already have made my work. But Nazarenes, we want people to be converted, but we always disciple them. We always go with them, and we want to know the grace of Holy Spirit into their life. Everything starts in Alpha, and in this phase that we have to be making very naturally, no effort. Something that probably I'm going to answer, probably Carlos made it, and you talked about baptism. And this is our experience. Alpha, we make Alpha, and then we make an initial disciple of 6 weeks. And we still made it in the same house in which we have made Alpha, and in the same way that we made Alpha, with food, with friends, and the same plan. And when we finished there, we talked about baptism. But in practically, I'm going to make it very clear, in the practice, what I have found is that the people, since day one of Alpha, it takes around a year in to make Alpha disciples, and then another disciple, and then to start communities of churches and to meet people. And after a year, they accepted to go to baptism. It's not that easy to go into baptism, because some of them comes in traditional Catholic churches, and probably I already baptized when I was a child. So the priest already baptized me. So that means, hey, I just come over here to work with the people. I already have discipled them, and I know the growth in grace is going to be made by God, and He's going to make His work in him, and He's going to convince him when to baptism. Probably takes around a year to people to do this. Thank you, Jose Luis. Greetings, David, for now, or, or Dominican Republic. I don't know, where are you?
No seas así, David. El pastor David es de República.
Pastor David from Dominican Republic. Okay. There are different questions over here. I'm going to go really fast. Jose Luis, one, how we are going to obtain the material? See, my sister Imelda, I don't know where the country it is, but the materials in the first, it's on the live streams. And everybody that already have take live streams. In the Mesoamerican Challenge, we already have the gadget, and we delivered the gadget for all the pastor, in which they already have Alpha included. And that's the first instance. The second one, a little bit further in the next block, Jose Luis is going to teach us how we can subscribe to online Alpha. So you might not only download 1 or 2 for adult series, but you may download for couples and everything that you can find over there too. And second question that is very important, Jose Luis, if it's virtually, how we are going to do with the planting, how we do with the food. Shall we deliver them? We already have made a university Alpha in COVID. We already have 10 kits in online. We make the retire virtually. I know that it's very hard to know how we did it, but the truth is that it was virtual. We're going to connect 7 p.m. Please bring a drink of any food that you have in your home. And we open the cameras and everybody were eating in their homes, even though one a month or every 1.5 months, we make them, ask them to go and visit them, and we send them as a surprise through delivery food to them. For probably a month and around, we made this dynamic to send them food. So we were talking, and all of a sudden, pin, the ring of the house rings and deliver food. They were surprised, and this is how we did it online. So we go over here in the same base that it goes starts with food. There's one important questions over here, Jose Luis. How can we make the transition from the reunions alphas with foods, plays, entertainment to a more traditional reunion? Yes, what we have done and my experience I have shared already with Carlos is that Alpha, we make 6 weeks of Alphas as a reunion with initial disciples that talks about Tobias. That's the name of the 12 weeks. And we start with a coffee, bread, someone comes and shares, and everybody's starting to have the same format with using of the Bible, and they already know how to use the Bible. So we do this for a 6 week. And people starting to understand the dynamic of a church. The first time that people goes to a services, we have still the group and go to the first services, and then we see each other in the Alpha group. They come over here with a lot of questions. I saw the pastor ask for money, and then we say, yes, you know that right now there's an economist and there's someone, and the economical department is it obligatory, and we told them no, it's not. And this is how we start all the conversation in disciple, and probably says, hey, I see that in the church they are raising their hands. So we explain them that this is the way that we can tell God, that this is the way that we honor God, and this is the way we worship. So these kind of questions, it's they do it that in that section that we call Tobias for 6 weeks. And this is how we use them. Is very nice. And people that they are online, and there's a very good church vibes. There's a good disciple that everybody has been next to them. People are going to work fine, to work slowly. The Alpha vision is not to pressure, not to make obligation. It's to make the spirit convince the people, and we just go with them. Besides this, let me tell you that in South America, they use Tobias because this is a disciple tool. We're starting to, with God helps, and we are helping on our planter in October in the regional sessions to give you officially our new materials of disciple that is compassion disciple. We're going to be giving you the envelopes that you may use to start one more time the disciple people that they already finished Alpha. The 3 weeks, 3 months of Alpha, it's just an evangelism tool. When we finish Alpha, there's no doubt that the people want to know more about Jesus. So this is the interesting part. And this is how we do it with the tools or the materials that you have per region. For example, our brother Jose Luis make it with Tobias. We're going to make it with Compassion Disciples, or the other materials that we have for disciples goes into the and starting to make a shape of this group into disciple group. We are forming, we're capacitating them. We're not running. Be careful. I want to make clear from week 1 to week 7, don't run, don't make imitations, don't convince people. You don't want to accept Jesus? No, come down. Please let God to make the process. Just invite them, listen to them. I want you to also before share to the video to the people, I want you to take a look at the video. That's why I have given you the live screen, because I know there will be questions that you're going to be surprised. And probably if you have 24 hours of life, what would you like to do? You know, there are some brothers that they come with some answers that they are kind of lost, right? Probably I'd be passing, praying that my last 24 hours, and you cannot say that to young people. Or probably I will smoke, or probably I will read. Once again, alpha is to reach friends. And friends comes the way that they are. They are going to give you ugly answers, and they're going to give you surprise answers. So I want you to please be prepared. Please do not follow by suggestion, and let them be the way it is. Don't make them feel uncomfortable. Let them to make their opinion and share the same faith. I want you to explain this. Alpha is not for brothers. Alpha is for friends that they come to our homes, 10 to 15 people, to a cafeteria, to any place, as long as it is safe and you may share the videos, the live stream that you may connect. And you may select a video that you want to see per week. The live stream, you may show it into a group that they have a smartphone, and you may watch it through your smartphone. All the tools or resources are there. Don't worry, Person in someday is going to show you the website from the regional evangelism. He's going to show you our website, and I'm going to tell you this, and that I want you to go to evangelism Mesoamerican region, and I want you to publish. We are evangelism. We are in Alpha. We want to continue growing. We want to share the grace with all the resources. I don't know, Hebson, what time you're going to do that. I know that probably when we end everything, so you can share and the brothers can share this and take notes. Every one of us, we're trying to make this progress. Gerson, are you ready? You may share your screen, Gerson. Okay, right now, if you have your phone, or go to Facebook, please. Region Mesoamerica Evangelism. And then you enter, you click on our Facebook, and we already have published. For instance, we have already 10 participants in our platform. That's a lot of number. We already have this session on the wall on Facebook. So I want you to please comment and please write right now in your social media, I am evangelism. This is our Facebook page. So you can also go with our website, evangelism, mar.org, and this is our official website. You go to our website, and everybody that already has using compassion evangelism, that after this session in Panama, you are going to have all these tools that you are going to be using it in our website. Remember, in Panama, we're going to see each other. So we're going to want to see some comments. Let me see, we already have some comments over here in our fan page on Facebook.
Que le den like, enséñales dónde tienen que darle like para que nos sigan.
Can you please show them how to like our fan page? So on top, you're going to see the like finger. Please make them click over here. So you are going to get our notifications, and you will see who is following our fan page. Very good.
Excelente. De todos, Gerson nos va a enviar esa información al correo.
So Gerson is going to send us this to our mail that you already have sent it. The mail that you received to connect, you're going to receive the same information so you can have them, so you can follow learning. So these conferences, you're going to find them also in the website, so you can enter back again and you make probably a summary afterwards. Okay, Jose Luis. We already have answered some of the questions, some of the important questions. So how are you doing to Panama? Does the budget comes from the, especially from the food, from Alpha, that money comes from the church? Yes, it comes from church. You need to make a budget. It doesn't have to be pizza or chicken. It has to be something that you already have. If it's the budget is big and the church want to accompany this new activity, you may do so, but you have to adapt to a budget. If you want to give out a pizzas or something else, it's up to you. Jose Luis, of course, we're next to the next block. What happens in Alpha is that we started to give them the food, and after the third week, the people that participants, you know what? They're starting to say, no, I feel kind of bad that you're giving me the food. So next week, I would like to share or to bring food. So that means everybody over here starting to get together and starting to share whatever they want, and that's good. So they every starting to share the food. And this is not a small limitant not to start an alpha. Okay, we're going to have a break, 5 minutes, but it's not a normal break. It's a game that we're going to play something that is called Kahoot. And if you're under 20, you already know Kahoot, but you have never played Kahoot, I will explain what is Kahoot. Kahoot is a website that you're going to enter. I'm going to put 6 questions about these sessions and Kahoot. You're going to have to create your name, and everything is online. And the one that wins that answered this Kahoot, they will be having the first 3 points. We're going to give you a digital award to your emails. So I'm going to share over here in my screen for those that you have never heard about Kahoot. You may go with your computer, tablet, or cell phone. So you have to go to this place, www.kahoot.it. Kahoot.it. Let me see if I can show you the tool. Good, Celeika is already here. Good. Okay. You have to go to www.kahoot.it and you have to write the pin, that is the pin game 306-6595. We already have 6 people. Okay, very good. The number of people is increasing. The ones that they are competing right now, you have opportunity to receive a digital award. Very good. This is very simple, just a little distraction. And I'm going to share together this small game.
Bueno, ahí están entrando 20
Okay,
personas.
everybody's starting to enter. I have 20 people. Very good.
Eso, usted pone ahí su nombre.
So you put over there your name.
Eso, muy bien.
Okay.
Muy bien, llevamos 32
Okay.
personas.
We already have 32 people. I'm going to give you 1 extra minute. So for those that you have not connected, if you're over here, don't worry, we're going to start really soon. Well, if we already started, it's going to be very hard if someone can catch up because we already have at certain points. There are some questions of true and false. There are multiple choice, or there's questions to write that missing word. So we're going to see who are the 3 champions of today's Kahoot of Mesoamerica region.
Pin de juego.
Sí, el pin de juego es el número que está grande en la pantalla.
Yes, the game pin is the one that you see over there, the 306-6595. 306-6995. That is the game pin.
306-6595. Ese es el pin de juego.
That's our pin game, and then it's going to ask you to write your name. And that's the name that I'm going to be sharing in your screen. I have 38 people.
Lady, Nicola, Polinar, Emanuel, Yamalí, Eliud, Nelson, Gilma, Yalegni, Imelda, Ale, Marta, Veraliz, Carlos Castro, Ariani, César Sacra, Elimelec, Guerra, Gerson. Bueno, hay muchísimos,
Well, there's a lot of names. We're going to see who is the one that is going to be awarded this prize. 306-6595. 306-6595. That's the pin game. 42 people, and we're going to start right now. Please pay attention. There's going to show up, pop up a question, and you have to mark. And you have to make click. Or if you're in a tablet, you need to touch the color where you think you're going to find the correct answer. So who's going to win? The one that answers everything that completes good and fast. You have to do the 2 things, fast and to be right. So those are the questions that we have shared in these last past minutes. 46 people. We're going to go into our last reversal account. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shall we start, Alpha?
¿Falso o verdadero?
True or false? Alpha, can you do it in an auditorium in the church? True or false? False is red, true is blue. 3 seconds, 1 second. Okay. 45 people says that is false. You're correct. Alpha, you may do it in an auditorium in a church, but not the best option. Okay, shall we go to the podium? Elimelec, Hualesca, and Febre. You are in the 3 first points. Carlos Castro is also trying to go there. What is the name of the tool that we use today that start with A? Please write that resource that we have used today seen. It starts with the letter A. 15 seconds.
7, 6,
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time out. Alpha. 36 people answering correctly.
Ok, listo, muy bien. Vamos a ver cómo va el
I'm going
podio.
to go back to the podium. Carlos Castro.
Subió 16 puestos en esta respuesta.
So you
Carlos Castro está en el número 1.
is number 1. Waleska and Terry. Fever disappear. Gerson and Lilia. Shall we go to the next one? There we go. True or false? When Alpha, you may start a church plantation. False, red, true, blue.
Muy bien, 5 personas.
Okay. 5 people make it wrong. It says false, and the right answer is true. With Alpha, you may start the church plantation. It's the first hammer. that we're going to make in our
Carlos
presentation.
Castro sigue
Carlos Castro is still on top. Tere, you're next to Carlos Castro. Gerson Febe Waleska. Is the next one is a quiz. Alpha is a resource of explosive evangelism, red, evangelism on street, orange, relational evangelism, blue, and green, disciple.
Bueno, hubo 11 personas que contestaron que era evangelismo explosivo.
11 answer explosive evangelism. It's not explosive. It's a relational evangelism tool. And it's not disciple in the street. Shall we go to the podium? Wow. So it was a very hard round. Carlos is still on top. Tere is next to him. Gerson, Waleska, and Febe appears one more time. We go to the next question. True or false? Alpha, it's resources of disciple. True, it's blue, and false is red.
Falso, 11 personas se equivocaron.
False. 11 people make it wrong. It's not true. It's not a disciple. From disciple. Gerson now is in second place. Tere, Waleska, and Febe. We have only one more question, and it's a survey, but we still have one from question of competition puzzle. Please order the following phrase. 12 weeks of red, on blue it says the duration is up, on orange says adults and young, and on green says alpha, it's a zero off.
Tiempo fuera.
Time out.
Bueno, la frase era alfa tiene.
The phrase is alpha is a series of young adults and the duration is 12 weeks. 20 people answered correctly. And 17 got it wrong. We're going to see the podium. Please, someone from the team help me out to take note of these names so we can send them their award. Please help me out with that follow survey. Would you like to start alpha with the next following days? Red, not sure. Orange, not for the moment. Blue, of course, yes. And green, I wish I could have more training. 74% says, of course, we do. And 4% says that they are not sure. 4 of them says not right now. And 17% they said that they were more training. Okay, Brother Milton, this 17%, we want to train them. Thank you for this time. We're going to go to the planters and the winners. Third place is going to be for Carlos Castro. The second place is going to be Gerson. And the first place, it goes to Febe. Congratulations. Fourth place, Waleska. The prizes are for Gerson, Febe, and Carlos Castro. Please identify them so we can send them to their email, their prizes. Okay, I'm going to close up the page. Okay, shall we continue? We're going to continue. In this moment, we're going to start with working with a couple of minutes on how we can create a new account in our website on Alpha. Pay attention. So I'm going to write and share in what page you have to go in to create the accounts. So we're going to go. I'm going to write the websites in the chat in Zoom.
Ay, ¿qué se me hizo? Un segundo.
Okay, give me a second. Bear with me.
Ok, voy a ponerla
Okay.
así que no.
Going to
Ok,
put
voy a
it
poner
this
aquí en
way.
el chat de Zoom. Un segundo.
I'm
aquí.
going to write it here in the chat of Zoom.
Mi- Oh, perdón, la escribí mal. Es
Oh, I'm sorry, I write it corrected. It's misspelled. Give me a second. It has an error.
Mi.latam. Ok, muy bien.
Okay,
Ahí está.
it's the second
En el chat de
address.
Zoom está, entran a
mi.lata.alpha.org. I'm going to share the screen.
Esta parte es muy importante
Please, this is an important part because this is the way that I'm going to make sure that you have reached all the digital resources and tools. If you have entered to that address, you're going to find a similar screen like this. So Alpha is going to detect where are you from and it's going to say me and it's going to show your country. If you're in Mexico, it's going to say me.mexico. In my case, it says me Colombia because this is where we have an office and in Mexico there's an office there. Probably in your country, we don't have an office and it's going to be showing me.alpha and .org because this video is going to be also recorded. The people may reach it afterwards and probably you are not as fat on this website. You may check them out later slowly. And it's very important that I'm going to tell you two reasons. One, with Mr. Milton, we talked about giving a fellowship and to give you tools and materials in the way that you are being advancing. So when we start our first alpha, we probably make a lot of errors, but it's very important that we have a mentor or an assessor, that someone that has a little bit more experience that help us out to grow faster in this type of tools. So if register your account, number one, alpha offices got your data, and number two, the report that Alpha gave us, we're going to share with Mr. Milton as an evangelism coordinator, so he can give you a follow-up and gives you an extra training or training per country or make another Zoom. It's very important that you please go and register your account. Okay. So we enter to the website. We're going to see a screen like this. Over here, if you don't have an account, it says you don't have an account, please register. Go over here, register in this red button, the second one, you don't have an account, register. We're going to enter here, that's the first step. We do click here.
Ah, ¿qué pasó?
Can you bear with me? Oh, probably I have to. Give me a second. Bear with me a second. Okay, register yourself. So you have over here this format. Please write your email.
Que no le vaya a faltar una letra.
Check your email that is not misspelled. So I'm going to create an account over here. I'm going to put a new account with your email. You write your email, then you write your name. In the next box, you write your last name. Then write your phone number. This is optional. It doesn't have a red dot, so that means if you want to leave your phone, that would be great. This is a confidential information. We don't share your information, but if you write your phone, possible, someone is going to contact with you and it will be a little bit easier. They're going to invite you to training, but well, at the end, you write your name, your number, the role in your church, the role in your church, role in the church, it show up if you're a leader associate, if you're a priest, a church, a student, a pastor, or a juvenile leader. So probably you may enter with a leader or a pastor. If you're a superintendent, you put them as the role of a pastor. Of course, I'm going to grant in my case a pastor. Then it says a role in alpha. What is that role in alpha? That means that if you are going to be the one that administrates this account of alpha, or if you are a part of a team, if the church already have a team coordinator. So if you are going to be the administrator and you're going to be the one managing all the resources, you have to choose administrator. City, the city where you live, or the city where your church is, or the city where the Alpha group is going to be located. State, in my case, of course, those are the states of Colombia because this is where I am. And then you have to write a password. Be careful in the password. It says over here, there's a lot of suggestion of the password. It must have 8 characters, include capital letters, include small letters, include a symbol, or include a number. You can may include a dash, and it's very important that you take a note of your password. I love to write password with biblical verses. So write it down separately. Let us remember that it must have a capital letter with 1 or 2 small letters, a number, and of course a symbols. For instance, the 2 dots of a Bible verses, that will work. So we're going to write the password. Okay, I already have written it down. I'm going to repeat it one more time. Okay, ready? So I confirm the password, and it says over here that it comes into confidential information about Alpha, and it talks about if I agree to the political and privacy policies. So I have to click on and agree on terms and conditions. And of course, I have to go into register. Register, it says over there, and immediately Alpha is going to create your account. Are you ready? We're going to go and register. Okay. Automatically it takes me out, and it's a pop-out that says thank you for register. There's one more step. In order to register, you have received an email, and you need to go back to your email and you have to verify in the link of verification. So I want you to go into checking out that link. So if all of you created your account, you have received an email, and you have to, in that email, it comes a link in which you need to verify your account. So we're going to do that. I'm going to stop sharing because I'm going to go with my email. And I'm going to tell you what the email says. Let me see if I get that email. Okay. I'm going to see if I have received that email. No, I have not received that email.
¿A alguien le llegó, alguien lo hizo y le llegó el correo? ¿O alguien que pueda compartir?
Sí, a mí sí me llegó.
¿Quién? Carlos.
Sí.
Ok, Carlos. Pues, ¿tienes acceso? Podríamos hacer que Carlos comparta la pantalla y nos compartas cómo se ve ese correo.
Screen so we can share the rest.
¿Sabes cómo compartir la pantalla, Carlos? Sí, muy bien. Ok, todo está, ok, buenísimo. Tienes que correr esto, muy bien. Perfecto. Lo que estamos viendo acá en pantalla es que a Carlos llegó, dice mi Alfa México, y dice, hola Carlos Arturo, gracias por inscribirte. Solo necesitamos que verifiques tu cuenta de la plataforma digital de Alfa con nosotros. Verifica tu cuenta acá. Ahí eso que está en azul, vamos a darle clic.
We're going to click on the blue link and it's going to open a page. It's going to bring you to the Alpha page and it's going to say enter here. You have an account, sign up. Okay, very well. So Carlos, that's your account. Thank you for sharing, Carlos. You can stop sharing. I'm going to go ahead. So what Carlos was showing up, I'm going to show it up in my account. When you sign up on your session, it's going to ask for your email and the password that you established. And then we're going to add a sign up session. If you're older than 45, you might start forgetting some things. So if it happens that you forget it, there's an option that says get your password, and we're going to send you an email with a temporary password and we're going to add a new password. So I sign up and I'm going to see what Carlos is showing. Obviously, to me, it's showing the alpha that are active. We have the account of Acts 28. So in this menu on the left, it's going to be here where it says my alpha, resources view, learning center, and there is a red bottom that says create a group alpha. So whenever I open a new alpha group, I'll go here to open that group. Over here right now, my church has 2 alpha groups that are active. Route 318A, it's the youth of my church, and the other one, it's a mission type church, as I told you that we were planting. So what is showing over here, especially in this alpha that it's active, it shows me my next session, the name of the session, telling it to someone else, why and how should I do it. So if I open this, inside will be the video that we'll see this week. It's 24 minutes long. I can download it or I can use it online, however I prefer. What else? I'm showing it here. It's a chronogram. As you can see, this alpha was created March 27 of 2022. It goes out every week at 11:30 in the morning. And over here, I can see the timeline. March 13, you should have seen the training of the video. May 20, it's a training for the alpha weekend. And it also looks for every session, 27th of March, April the 3rd. So if a week I wasn't able to do an alpha group, I have that option of this calendar, add a click and change the schedule, change one date. So as I do that, it's gonna automatically change the rest of the appointments. So if one day there was a holiday or I had my kids were sick, I will update it and change the date. So if I go into each session, life is this all, it pops up the video and I can download it. And that's another form of looking at the videos. Here it comes when it's the alpha weekend or when would it be? And it was going to show a check. And this group alpha is going to be over on July the 10th, and it's called Church. What happens with church? That's a video that we told you that talks about a church. So this is the scheduling. There's also a resource that is called promote, and it helps you to do this digital invitations. You can do it through Instagram, you can do it through PowerPoint, and all of these are resources to start a alpha group. You can download the stories, send it to friends, post on their Instagram feeds, and this is going to help you with all of these resources. Here's the alpha logo, the official logo. You can download it to do your PowerPoint presentations or do your flyers. That's available for you. And we're going to continue. It's another menu, materials of the series. As you can see, my team training, these are my trainings videos. Each video is 10-minute long. So if someone wants to get trained, they come here and see their training. It allows you to download it on SD or in a different resolution. You can download it on the video quality that you prefer. You can download it or you can share the link. So you can share this video to someone else. You can download it or share it with someone via WhatsApp to share the training videos. And after that, we have the 12 talks, life, Jesus, cross, faith, prayer, Bible, spirituality, Fillness, Sanctity, Church. Wherever I click one of this, it's gonna show me the same. I can download it SD, or it depends on the my internet quality or the quality I want to use. So I can download it or I can share this link. So, and at the right side, you have a resource that are PDF files that helps you with online games, interior games, or outdoor games, because if there's an alpha of youth or teens, you might use it. And then there's the discussion guides or the communication guides. So the people that leads knows when to make a pause, what to ask, what not to ask, what you can share or what you cannot share. All of these resources will be in your hands at the time of creating your account. And at the end, there's a team. And as an administrator, I can invite people from my church that don't have to have a username and an alpha password. They can log in with their email and they won't have all of the resources of the administrator, but will be able to join the team. So for example, you can see these are the people that are running the alpha group in my church. Felipe is the NYI president. Diego is a host, which is my brother. Pilar is a volunteer, and Valeria is another volunteer. And here I can see the people that are in my team, that are in my team, and that can see the resources without being the manager. So the best thing is to have an alpha account per church. Who can be the leader? Can be the evangelism leader or the NYI leader of the local church. So these people can be the managers of these groups. They can create all the groups they want and they can invite the team members to join as well. I'm going back to the dashboard again.
Otra forma de ver los entrenamientos es
Another way of seeing the trainings is the learning center.
Entonces, ahí también, miren, me salen los 5 videos. Estos 5 videos duran 20 minutos y hay otros 5 videos que duran 18 minutos en total. O sea, 38 minutos de videos y ustedes quedan listos para comenzar un grupo alfa. No necesitan de ninguno de nosotros, nosotros estamos para asesorarlos, obviamente, pero quiero decir es que Alfa pone esto en tus manos para que tú mismo puedas ver los videos, entender cómo se corre y avanzar. Obviamente, por la organización que tenemos en la Iglesia del Nazareno, sé que en cada país hay un líder nacional de evangelismo que puede seguramente apoyar o ayudar, y lo mismo con JNI. Hay alguien que está en JNI, puede apoyar, puede asesorar, puede, si alguien no sabe cómo, ven, yo te explico, o pueden ver este video y algunos videos más que hemos grabado sobre cómo correr la experiencia alfa, y ahí está. Así es que esto sería todo lo que es, eh, esto sería todo lo que es cómo acceder a los recursos. Así es que terminaríamos esta parte. Bueno, nos faltaría lo de crear el primer grupo alfa. Lo voy a explicar muy rápidamente porque se nos está yendo el tiempo. Voy a crear aquí un alfa, entonces le damos un botón rojo, crear un grupo alfa. Entonces él me comienza a preguntar, ¿para quién es este alfa? Para todas las edades, para adolescentes, jóvenes, adultos jóvenes. No estoy seguro para adultos o para adultos de más de 65. Vamos a crear uno para adolescentes. O bueno, no, uno para adultos, mejor. Vamos a ponerle adultos. Entonces yo le digo adultos y él me va a preguntar, ¿harás alfa presencial, online o ambas? Vamos a hacerlo presencial, entonces vamos a darle la opción en persona. Si usted se da cuenta, esto que dice aquí abajo, alfa en línea, es la herramienta que Alfa pone para hacer los alfas en línea, que es como un Zoom gratuito para poder hacer el alfa en línea. Pero vamos a decirle que lo vamos a hacer en persona. Y aquí me dice, ¿deseas usar charlas en vivo, usar videos o usar ambas opciones? Entonces vamos a decirle que vamos a usar en video, porque si yo no le pongo video, él no me va a mostrar los videos. Antiguamente hay personas, o está la opción, pues, que si tú no quieres usar videos, tú puedes aprenderte los libretos, pero pues eso es un trabajito extra, ¿no? Aprenderse todos los libretos de lo que las dos personas hicieron ya, entonces vamos a decirle video. Luego me dice, ¿en qué contexto realizarás tu alfa? ¿En la iglesia, en prisiones, en un centro educativo, en ninguno, en espacio de trabajo, militar? Vamos a decirle que en la iglesia. Eso es cuando estamos trabajando dentro de una iglesia cristiana, le ponemos iglesia. ¿En qué idioma? Mira, ahí es donde yo les decía, atento a esto, ¿en qué idioma? Español o inglés, pero aquí abajo dice ver más idiomas, se los voy a abrir. Mire todos los idiomas que usted puede escoger: Afrikaans, albanés, amharic, árabe, arábic, armenio, lenguaje de señas, asamés, azerbaiyán, malayo, bengalí, búlgaro, bímano, checo, danés. Imagínense todos los videos, mire todos los idiomas que hay: garo, griego, hindú, italiano, japonés, canadá, kasi, camboyano, coreano, lituano, maratí, mongol, orilla, portugués, rumano, ruso, serbio. Mire, o sea, por eso le dije más de 100 idiomas. Pero bueno, vamos a decirle que lo vamos a hacer en español. ¿Ok? Español. Y luego él me va a preguntar acá, ¿qué serie voy a usar? Porque está la serie de jóvenes, está el alfa en vivo o está alfa la serie. Para adultos vamos a usar este que se llama alfa la serie. Entonces le digo clic en el botón rojo que dice utilizar esta serie. Y aquí él me va a preguntar, tengo que darle un nombre a mi alfa. En este caso yo le voy a poner test, porque este no es un alfa real, es un test de prueba. Test de prueba José. Serie utilizada, alfa la serie. Fecha de inicio. Entonces no importa que usted quiera comenzar su grupo en un mes, no importa, usted lo puede crear hoy. Es más, debe crearlo hoy para que él le haga su línea de tiempo y usted tenga tiempo de ver los videos de entrenamiento. Yo voy a ponerle que voy a comenzar en agosto 1. Agosto 1 y que a la hora de inicio va a ser a las 19 horas. Forma de hacerlo, persona, la dirección. La dirección, yo le voy a poner mi ciudad, Cajicá, que es donde yo vivo. Ah, bueno, no sé, trata de ver si me sale. Bogotá. Ah, ok. Calle 4. Pero ¿por qué no me está dejando ver? Un momentico. Bogotá. Debería dejarme aquí poner el nombre de la ciudad, pero no me está dejando. Bueno, también hay otra forma y es aquí con el mapa, pero aquí él me está mostrando mi mapa donde yo vivo. Bueno, pero no me está dejando, no sé por qué. Bueno, aquí voy a poner la ciudad. Aquí dice, hay algo más que tus invitados necesitan saber para tu alfa. Esto es si yo quiero que mi alfa sea publicado en la página web de Alfa Global. Luego aquí me dice, mire, esto es muy importante. ¿Cuál es el nombre de la iglesia u organización relacionada con tu alfa? En este caso aquí ya aparece Hechos 29, Iglesia del Nazareno, Cajicá, y los datos de la iglesia. En el caso que usted lo vaya a crear, a usted le va a desplegar una lista. Si usted no la encuentra, yo voy a decirle aquí cambiar. Él me va a sacar aquí una lista. Voy a poner, por ejemplo, iglesia, y él me comienza a sacar aquí opciones. Seguramente su iglesia no está creada, entonces con este botón rojo dice agregar otra iglesia. Entonces vamos a crear la iglesia. Vamos a darle clic y vamos a crear por primera vez, y esto es solamente una vez que hay que hacerlo, y le ponemos Iglesia del Nazareno Petén, por decir algo. Listo, dirección, calle tal, ciudad, código postal, estado, tipo de organización, ojo a esto, tipo de organización. Voy a decirle iglesia. Denominación, ojo porque Alfa ya tiene creada la denominación nazarena. Entonces, en denominación, anglicana, bautista, católica, comunidad congregacional, cuaqueros, discípulos, mire, aquí está por orden alfabético, Iglesia del Nazareno, ahí aparece, mírela, Iglesia del Nazareno. Le vamos a dar clic, Iglesia del Nazareno, si quiere poner el número del teléfono, y aquí le da clic en usar esta iglesia. Y en ese momento, este botón se le pone rojo y usted lo va a crear. A mí no me está dejando por algún tema que no sé qué pasa aquí con esta dirección. Pero aquí en este momento usted le dice crear tu alfa y en ese momento él le crea el alfa con su línea de tiempo, etcétera, etcétera. Muy bien.
Okay, so over here we can finalize this section on the alpha, how to publish the alpha, my alpha group. I didn't do anything, so I'll go back to my dashboard. So, Brother Milton.
Gracias, José Luis. Tremenda herramienta, tremendo
Thank you,
recurso.
Jose Luis. What a great resource and tool that we can use for church planting. We already saw the timeline, the different videos. We saw how we could assign the team. And in fact, this is going to be recorded and you'll be able to access and go step by step. Where are the videos? The videos are in the live streams. If you don't have a live stream, well, then go to the page and you can assign your team. You can, and I have a question, Jose Luis. The material of the couples, is it there? No. Alpha couples, when we go to create an alpha, because the marriages have another page. Febe is also here with us. Febe, how are you?
Qué bueno saludarte. Febe, cuéntanos.
It's so good to greet you. Febe, the marriages are in another one, right?
Hay el curso para matrimonios y el curso para parejas, perdón, para noviazgo, están en una plataforma diferente porque la dinámica es distinto. Aquí el pastor José Luis nos hizo mucho hincapié en el tiempo en que una sesión de alfa normalmente
Here, the pastor José Luis made us realize that there are different times that you'll be using in the alpha meetings as different. It would be different timings with those alpha. They provide all the materials, all the discussion guides, all the videos, but the dynamics are different. We work very focused, like a more of like a training, because there the people will start making a lot of work in their relationship, as in their marriage or as a couple.
Y estamos dándolo y ha sido muy bueno. José Luis.
Sí, solamente decir que el curso de
Yes,
matrimonios
I
es
want to say that
para
the
novios, ambos
we
sexos,
have like a dating
pero
group and then we have a married couple group.
pre-evangelismo o
These
durante
are
la sesión
pre-evangelist
lo podemos usar
resources. We
antes
can use them
para
before
parejas que conozcan, enriquezcan su matrimonio o solucionen
to
problemas de
see
matrimonio.
and
Y
find
después
solutions
para
in their
novios de
marriage.
evangelismo, para
And
que
there's
conozcan
also
su novia
that
Jesucristo.
evangelism
Y
alpha
después
for them to
para
convert
un alfa
to Jesus
evangelismo,
Christ. Or
donde
after
se
an evangelism
busque
alpha, we
enriquecimiento
give them
matrimonial
a
mediante
resource
el curso para novios o para
of
matrimonios.
dating or relationships enrichment.
Acá hablamos anteriormente
Jose
acerca
Luis,
de
over here we
los
were talking
saludos. Les quedamos
about if someone has a doubt,
seminario, ¿no? Podría ser
there's going to be a new seminary.
cómo pueden accesar.
We're going to talk about how it's going to work and how can they
Va a haber una charla
sign in.
más que todo enfocada para
Yes, and this
jóvenes
next Tuesday on Zoom, there's going to be
y en
a
ese
talk
en esa
for
charla
youth,
que habla de la
especially for
toxicidad
youth,
tóxica
and
y
it's
es
called
gratuito,
Toxic Church,
es
and
gratuito,
it's
se
focused to
registra,
the
lo
NYI.
puedo poner acá
The registered is for free,
pero en ese webinar se va a
and in
realizar
that
el alfa
webinar,
test para Latinoamérica y es otra forma y es que ustedes se inscriban a ese alfa test y por 4 semanas ustedes hagan una sesión modelo en Zoom
that
con los
webinar, it's an alpha test.
los
It's
facilitadores
for
de la
have
charla
it's having
y ellos corren
3 weeks
hasta la
an
sesión
alpha
1,
training,
una
and you
sesión
can
del
run
día,
a session
una
one,
sesión del
a
fin de
session
semana y
4,
una
the
sesión
session of the
alfa.
weekend alpha, and a final session. So you'll be jumping through the sessions, but it's for you to understand and for you to see how to moderate, how to facilitate, what are the questions you can make, what are the dynamics, and for you to see a model. This will be for 4 weeks and it'll start in the middle of July. And the goal is that you can start your first alpha group at the end of August. So you take those 4 weeks, and at the end of August, you'll be able to start your alpha group. And remember that this is a new or another tool to open a preaching point and then make it a mission type church. You can start them, you can utilize, you can use these resources.
¿Cómo lo va a poner en práctica en su iglesia local? Hermana Veralis nos pregunta si podemos tener acceso.
So Sister Beralis is asking us if we can have access to all of this resources of marriages. We're planning on how can we give them to you. First of all, on a regional level, the last one we gave was in December. Do you remember? And we had a good group that graduated. So we're in a program, one for marriages, and to see if you can have access to that. Something very important is that someone that converts into facilitator is someone that has the resources, someone that has knows how to work. So with we'll be more than glad to find a date so you can have that marriage training in your local church. Febe, do we have something else? Sister Febe Tovar is our regional coordinator of Alpha. We want in the near future to be closer to you. And we invited Brother Jose Luis to come and join us. We hope to work this near coming days with him and Febe to reactivate for our planters.
Específicamente vivan la experiencia, terminando el curso, usted lo toma como participante. Entonces puede ver toda la estructura, la dinámica que es y está totalmente preparado para ya
You
compartir.
can see the dynamic on how it is and be prepared to share it. The pastor gave us access to the page.
Así como nos fue guiando en el registro, es la misma dinámica para
This is the same dynamic to sign up. Obviously, it's a different platform, but the advantage of getting registered today, you'll be added to the training center. You'll be able to get used to the resources, and it won't be as surprising when you come to give it on yourself.
para tener este curso piloto nuevamente, de forma que usted pueda venir, ser parte, tener la experiencia, vivir ese alfa.
It would be good for you to have that experience of living this alpha experience, and this is going to help a little. As I said, it's not the same to a normal alpha, but it helps us.
Compartir un alfa y entonces
And what is the dynamic to share an alpha? As I said, it's not hard. It's more the decision of wanting to do it and starting to do it, knowing that it's your moment to start designing how to do it, and every time that you do it, it's going to be a best version of what you did before. So we are cheering you to try it out. Sometimes we train, but we don't put it into the practice. And I believe that alpha is going to help us in this part, because everything it's already there. So we can take the resources and implement it. It's not as hard and it's not complicated. We just want you to invest 20 or 30 minutes maximum in the training center, and you'll see that you can start planning it from now. It doesn't matter if you have a whole schedule for the next months or a working agenda, you can easily add this to your local church, to the work you're doing with the local church. So before December, we can start this, right? It's oh, okay. Couples is seven weeks.
Excelente. José Luis.
Excellent. José Luis, our goal with FEBE is that there will be a national coordinator of Alpha. And I want to clarify for some, Alpha is an interdenominational organization. They serve for many organizations, because Alpha, they don't teach doctrine. They don't teach a thought that it's going to give you a doctrine. It's an evangelistic resource, a tool, and the materials that we're going to be using are Nazarenes, are Armenian Wesleyans materials. So therefore, we need to share it with all the people that needs to or wants to know more. And if you need more reinforcements through Alpha, we're going to communicate with Febe. And my friend Gerson is going to send you the page so you can do more investigating on this and sending us the information. The last thing, I send this through the chat. This is for the ones who want to join the 4 weeks of Alpha being a model. And it's called Alpha Test. And it's going to be for 4 weeks, the Tuesdays, starting on July the 12th, July 19th, July 26th, and August the 2nd. It's an alpha model of an hour and 10. And these are the schedules. Central America, 7:30. And this is the form, so you can sign up. You can add your name, your last name. So in the alpha office, who is organizing this alpha test, you will be able to sign up and be in contact. I think it's a good way to start realizing how it's gonna look, the model class, and receive it directly from Alpha. So we can be on the front page, like you can be on the front page looking at the people that invented the resources. So I already sent the link over here. And from my side, if there's another question, Brother Milton, or any other recommendation, if not, I think we're ready. Gerson and Febe, please take that, write it down, and we're gonna find out how can we share it through the emails. So all the ones that wants to know more about it or wants to know more about Alpha before doing it, so they can do it. So let's give a virtual clap, a virtual round of applause for my brother Jose Luis. We know that you're busy, and we know that you're a great leader of Alpha for a model. He didn't mention it, but Alpha through Jose Luis, it's creating a district, a pioneer district in Colombia. So we're gonna open a district through Alpha. He has a mission type church and he has a preaching point. So it's going ahead, it's going forward. And something that you have to have very clear. It's not like, oh, we're gonna make an alpha and leave and that's it. No, because in alpha you're gonna find multiplication of leadership, you're gonna find growth of the church because these are new leaders and are gonna be able to open new alphas. So it's gonna become a culture. In my church, it became a culture, and for something to become a culture, we need to repeat it over and over, many times. So as Brother Milton said, make an alpha, and then the idea is to make a second one and then a third one. And it comes to a moment where people will be doing alpha everywhere. And it's going to be a supervision task more than a starting task. And people that converted to Christ through alpha, they're so passionate now to make more alphas. They say, oh, I want to share with my friends, my neighbors, my cousins. How do I get trained? Then we get trained and we have our multiplication through that. And it's very interesting. Thank you. And thank you to all of our leaders for connecting our district superintendents and all of our leaders, Alex from Covan, all the way to the city of Guatemala, Dominican Republic, Panama. Thank you.